Comienzo a grabar porque se está empezando a mover otra vez esto. A ver si tengo la oportunidad de que se mueva. Incluso el foco como que está fallando ahorita, no sé qué. Se ha borrado. Ahorita lo voy a dejar quieto mejor. Ahí está. Hola. Eso es a lo que me refiero. ¿Qué quieres? ¿Qué quieres? Ya me voy, ¿eh? Me voy a ir. ¿Qué necesitas? Ya me quedo, me voy a quedar. Me voy a quedar. ¿Sale? Aquí me quedo, no hay problema.
What you just saw is part of many videos that show what is believed to be a poltergeist haunting, and one of the realest I've seen in a long time. This is where we explore the jarring side of the internet, where anything can happen and everything is possible. I'm your host Ozi, and welcome to the OJO Show.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind.
Big brain time.
You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance of things and ideas. You just crossed over into the OJO Show.
Although I've never believed in ghosts or the paranormal, it's always interested me, like those internet mysteries like erratas, 4chan threads, the new Wayfair. Regardless if you believe in the paranormal, I think they're good stories and deserve to be told, especially the ones that don't gain much attention in the English-speaking community, just like my previous Spanish creepypasta video. Although that was a fictional story, what I'm about to present to you today is one of the most convincing hauntings I've seen. Unlike args or internet hoaxes, as far as I can tell, these videos were posted without the intention of gaining any sort of attention. Now, I don't want to sound like Chills that reaches for the most crazy conclusions, talking about ghost witches and all that.
Siren head sightings are being reported all over the world. After a 30-year slumber, it appears to have awakened.
As much as I love his videos, that's not what I'm going to do here today. I just want to tell you the story of a man named Abiud and his paranormal hauntings. Let's begin.
Ya me voy, ¿eh? Me voy a ir. ¿Qué necesitas?
Whatever appears to be haunting Abiud is getting upset at the thought of him leaving the house. Also, I think it's important to mention that the set of wind chimes is said to be able to communicate with spirits, and he was told by various religious believers that it's best not to try to upset whatever is causing the movement, and instead just try to use this to communicate. After this, the series of events only continue to escalate. First, we hear knocking at his window, even his door. Take a look for yourself.
Ahí está, ya se está escuchando. Sí se escucha de todas formas. Ahí está. Ay, güey, están tocando la puerta. A ver. Ay, cabrón. Pues no hay nadie. No mames.
Then it reaches a climax when this happens.
Se siguen escuchando sonidos. De hecho, se escuchan los sonidos de los tacones, pero como... Ahí está. Ahí está. No manches. Prácticamente se siente que está aquí a mi lado. Pero no recuerdo honestamente si la había cerrado o abierto. Voy a tratar de ver aquí qué onda. Pues no hay nada, no se ve nada ahí. No mames. Ahí está. Otra vez los tacones se están yendo para allá. A ver.
First, we hear subtle noises. Then, as he gets up to explore and gets closer to the source, it becomes clear that the sound we're dealing with sounds like a woman walking in heels. Ensuing all the chaos, he decided to set up a camera to capture footage while he's away. As you can see, there was slight movement, and a book even fell out of his shelf. He later decided to give it a read in an attempt to figure out if it had any sort of meaning. Unfortunately, he was unable to reach any solid conclusions with the book, but as he was reading, this happened.
Pero el motivo de estar grabando es porque huele muchísima perfume de mujer y se escuchan otra vez los tacones. De hecho, el aroma es muy fuerte. A mí me agrada, no tengo problema. Es un perfume agradable. Pero el problema es que los tacones que... Ahí está, se escuchan ya los tacones. Se escucha como si viniera para acá. Para allá. Ay, cabrón.
Abiud states that for some reason, there's a smell of a woman's perfume. Then we hear once again what sounds like a woman walking in heels. Not to mention, the chimes go off again. But that's not all, because one more thing happens. See if you can catch it.
Se metió la recámara. Bien, aparentemente en orden.
Now I know it's very hard to see, so I'll play it again. I'm sure if you have a keen eye you noticed, the teddy bear slightly moves, leaning forward. This bear is going to become pretty important later in the story, so just keep that in mind. He was suggested to do a spiritual cleaning of his house. This only appeared to further exacerbate the situation, as you can see here.
Ya estoy terminando ahora sí. Aquí lo que me llama la atención es que el humo permanece. Digo, bueno, en el teléfono no se aprecia muy bien que digamos, pero como que el humo de verdad toma una cierta forma extraña, no sé cómo explicarlo. De hecho, las cadenas ya empezaron a moverse otra vez. Incluso las cadenas de ellas se están moviendo más. Las cadenas ya se están moviendo más fuerte y suena. Como que sí le está molestando el incienso, no sé qué onda. Pues si no te parece, entonces vete, no tengo problema. Ve. Ay, ok, esto no me lo esperaba, definitivamente esto no me lo esperaba.
Now, after this, honestly, for me is where things started reaching a turning point and where I started to believe his story just a little bit more. And part of it is because he posted a 13-minute video explaining this whole situation, you know, where it started, how long it's been going on. And he basically tells us that this started after he took a vacation from work, right? Not only that, but whatever appears to be haunting this man isn't tied to the house, as he tells us that this has happened in friends' house, even in hotels. He tells us that this whole situation has taken a toll on him, and not only that, but this has been going on for a couple years, and recently it's just escalated to the point where it is now. Not only do I say it's a turning point because I started believing a little bit more, you know, but it also has to do with the next videos I'm about to present. See them yourself.
Decidí grabar porque hace rato se escuchó un golpe muy fuerte en mi ventana y cuando salí pues me doy cuenta de esta situación. Digo, yo claramente pensé que había sido una piedra, pero supongo que alguna de estas aves se estrelló, no lo sé. Es un comportamiento muy extraño, muy raro. Digo, es la primera ocasión que veo algo así aquí.
Okay, so honestly, when I first saw this, I was somewhat baffled, not just because of the birds, because, you know, that's all creepy and everything, right? But because we also get confirmation that this is an unusual event. We can hear in the background a little girl calling for her mom or grandma, and the mom's reaction just confirms that this is an abnormal event, especially in this area. Regardless of what you believe, you have to agree that this is a little bit weird. Now, in this part of the video is where I think the most convincing part of the evidence is, but again, it's also like some of the more questionable thing, I would say. You'll agree when I show you. Just take a look. Now that may have looked just like a jump scare, right? However, after we take a second look at the video, we can see this. It appears to be a woman, maybe even the one we hear before walking into the hills. Remember how I told you the bear would play an important part of this later? This is what I meant. You can go ahead and make of this what you want. The final video I'm going to present is the latest, which was posted about a month ago, June 27th, which honestly, I don't have an explanation for this. If you guys have any theories, go ahead and send them in the comments. But even in this original post's comments, I was reading through them and there were some really interesting comments, but none of them seemed to give a convincing answer to this.
Está comenzando ahorita que son las 2:58 de la mañana. La luz que se alcanza a distinguir ahí al fondo es una luz que se ha estado viendo durante los últimos días. Esa luz, pues a pesar de que ya estuve quitando el foco, no desaparece, no logro saber cómo de qué es. Voy a prender tantito el flash para que se alcance a distinguir. Pues como pueden ver se sigue viendo. Voy a abrir la recámara. Pues obviamente no tengo el foco como mencionaba. Hay una luz de mis vecinos, pero obviamente pues es una luz que solo se alcanza a reflejar un poquito en la cortina, pero considero yo que no es lo suficiente como para que se refleje como ese es el caso. Es un reflejo pues bastante obvio. Ahorita lo pongo de cabeza. Es una luz muy intensa, o sea, no hay manera de que las luces de mis vecinos estén reflejándose. Pues no puedo dar explicación. Voy a apagar el flash.
As you can see here, he explained to us that he's chilling at his house and all of a sudden he sees this light in this room. And it's really weird, right? Because he tells us that he removed the only source of light, which was that light bulb. He even gives us a view of the room, including behind the door, which I was convinced there was a light behind there or something. But as we can see, there's nothing. Now every time he closes the door, you can clearly see there's a light, and it's actually quite bright, even if there isn't any clear source of where it's coming from. Just to add a little bit of context here, I think it's important. The time this takes place is near 3 a.m. Now, I know that's become kind of a meme hour with anything paranormal related. Like, you know, we got J Station calling Etika at 3 a.m. type of thing, right? But regardless, you saw the video yourself. If you have an explanation, leave it in the comments. As I mentioned earlier, the comments on the original post were really interesting, and there was one that really caught my eye, saying, at 1 minute and 38, you can hear a woman saying, "Come here." So after all is said and done, it's up to you to make your own conclusions regarding this story I have presented to you today. Although Abiud's story stands out from the rest in my opinion, it can still be fake, but honestly after watching and looking into this, I don't see any clear motive to fabricate all of this. Not to mention, as I said before, the videos were originally posted on his Facebook just to share with his family, his friends, just so they would know the situation, and they were never intended to go viral like they did. Abiud since then made a post explaining that the infamous bear is named Guggy, and he doesn't believe it has anything to do with the paranormal activity happening to him. I want to ask you, what do you think of Abiud's situation? And do you believe it's real or just another internet story for the books? Even if it was fake, I honestly wouldn't be mad, as it's one of the best I've seen in a long time. I was sick of all the ARGs and creepypasta shit, so I'm glad we got something really solid here. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. If you can share this with your friends and paranormal community, I would highly appreciate that. I appreciate you guys watching this far. Honestly, it means a lot to me. If you enjoy this type of content, I watch scary videos every Sunday on Twitch, so feel free to join me at OJO, as you can see here on the screen. And yeah, thank you for watching. Good night.